LPT Request: How to not have to get on calls. My job is working with predominantly older white men who love to interrupt me, talk over me, not listen to anything I say on calls. They also love to hear themselves speak and feel like they have some sweet young girl hanging onto their every word while they prattle on about absolutely nothing. Almost daily, I'll send a very simple, straightforward email asking for their answer or input on something. I am so often met with, "Can you set up a call for us to talk?" When I do, they go on and on about things that absolutely could have been answered in an email. No matter how much time I set for the call, they go over time. It's frustrating getting constantly cut off and feeling like it's such a waste of my time. What's an effective, professional response to tell them to just respond to my fucking email and that I do not want to get on a call with them? My first thought in such situations is always straight honesty: "I'm sorry, but I get so many requests like this that I find email is more efficient." This also will give you a record which you can look at later. Look at their schedule. Make schedule you call for 5 minutes before they have another item on their calendar. "Can you set up a call for us to talk? Sorry, no, my schedule is slammed. I'd really appreciate it if you could answer in an email." As for going over allotted time, say something at the start of the meeting. Don't wait till the end. "Just a reminder, I really need to be out of here by 12:30 for my next appointment." Then again at 12:20, "Alright, I'm gonna have to run in 10 minutes. Then at 12:30, it isn't a surprise when you say, "Okay, I gotta run, we can continue this tomorrow over email. Maybe I can set something up for next week, but it's time sensitive, so can you shoot me a quick email with just the summary for now and we can go into more detail when we talk?" Then never set up the meeting. If they ask about it, say, "Oh, it turned out I didn't need that info after all, so I didn't want to waste your time." You can also block out a lot of time on your calendar so they don't see that you're free for meetings. You can call it focus time or come up with a different acronym for each blocks regularly. Scheduled meeting. Then you can color code it so you can tell the fake meetings at a glance. "Sorry, I'm unable to work a call into my current schedule at this time. Please take the time you need to respond to this email at your convenience." I find ChatGPT great for this kind of stuff. I'll be fuming and tell it I want to tell this dumb motherfucker that isn't how this works. They need to do X and not Y, etc. But do it in a courteous and professional manner. This way I can still vent my frustration by typing it out, but GPT translates it in a way that won't get HR involved. Lol. I find the comments in this thread amazing. If you are having a meeting or call, make sure there is an agenda. Request it from the people organizing the meeting or make it yourself. 3 or 4 bullet points. If things get off track, pull it back to the agenda. When all the points are addressed, leave. I listened in on a few of my wife's calls with her last company. It was a few guys laughing and joking around while they held all the other workers in captivity. It was very strange vibe. Like, listen to my jokes. I am so witty. Also, you guys have to start coming into the office so you can see how funny and important I am in person. Can you say something about how you'd like to have documentation? As an older white man, I wasn't listening. Some of them may not be used to or comfortable with typing. I worked with several older people who would not accept that text or IM was easier than picking up a phone. It's a generational thing. Sorry to interrupt you, but this is all the time I had planned for this call. Could you answer the remaining points by mail? Thank you. Respect their time by putting in a meeting so short that they have to get to the point. Set up the call. Hop on at the scheduled time, but don't connect your audio in the chat. Tell them you're tied up and ask your question. Why is it relevant to say older white men? Couldn't you just say I work with some people who... I don't get why we need to generalize an entire race and gender. Would it be acceptable to say older black women? Probably not, right? What type of responses are you asking for? Is it yes, no, or something that would truly be easier to verbalize? You may need to just let them prattle on while you ignore them for a while. Then when they're done, repeat the question without acknowledging any of their ramblings. A good start to communication would be to not make broad generalizations about coworkers based on their race, gender, and age. How is the fact that they are white relevant in your request? Would anything change if they were non-white? What's race got do with anything? Have you tried finding a job you don't hate and gladly hires racists? Maybe lose the racism. LPT, how do I stop being sexist and racist? This is not unique to old white men, and it is not because you are a girl. I am a young man who encounters this exact scenario from a variety of different coworkers pretty much daily. Be careful not to attribute everything you don't like to their identity. It's an easy trap to fall into. Honest answer: stop asking for their feedback outside scheduled meetings. There should be regularly scheduled meetings or document delivery deadlines for official feedback. It would be nice if they could just give you the feedback you want. But they can't. It may be part of the office culture. Or it may be that emails have been used against them in the past if it's something you absolutely have to have. Ask for specific things, e.g. link to document, name of X, etc. Geez, you sound extremely judgmental. Imagine instead of white this post said Asian or black. It would seem like a complete generalization being applied to the skin color of the men. As a young white man, this is just how people are in the office. They think visibility equates to performance, and so they won't shut up until somebody forces them to. LPT, drop the racism and manage your time by not letting others waste it. It makes no difference what race these people are. Leave the racial profiling out. All you need to say is they are annoying. I've worked with women that don't have this problem with older white men. Either you aren't assertive enough or you're working at the wrong company. No one here knows except your claim that it's a racism-sexism problem. Ultimately, my theory is that you are ascribing race age to things that are not relevant. I'm guessing you are junior to them, and that's what happens when you are a subordinate. If you have it, link them to documentation that answers their questions. If it has a how-to video, even better. If multiple people are asking the same questions, then you can make the documentation yourself and send it their way. You can also do office hours where you can invite these guys to a QA session that is weekly. Set it to an hour. They are free to ask questions there. If they randomize you outside of these office hours, point them to the office hours meeting. I appreciate your willingness to help. However, it has been determined that email is the appropriate method for all communication related to. Please respond at your convenience. And thank you for your understanding. I've been successful with similar situations, and this kind of wording makes it sound like it was someone else's decision and beyond your control. Use a meeting cost calculator to estimate how much the company is spending paying everyone who is on the call. At the end, you can say, was this meeting worth $? Try quitting this job. Get a huge fucking attitude adjustment. Then find a new job. My God, I'd want to fire you myself. If someone interrupts you while speaking, continue speaking until you are finished. Hold your ground. Go ahead and raise your voice slightly if they speak over you loudly. If questioned, say, I was speaking. Kindly hear my point until its conclusion.